Been described as an outstanding leader, and in his business career, he has demonstrated how to lead people and lead by example, get things done, and run operations on a tight budget, something that we really need in Washington today. His bedrock principles are faith, family, and a belief in a brighter future for the next generation. Please help me welcome my friend, Dan Frei.
Bruce, thank you for those kind words and that kind introduction. And to the family and friends that are here, I greatly appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day. And certainly to the media, we appreciate you being here today. You know, I stand before you today as a husband, a father, and to the two youngest members that are joining us today, I'll always be affectionately known as Pops. But I'm here today for one reason and one reason only. And it's because I'm very concerned. I'm worried about the path and the course that the direction of this country is taking. Washington is obviously broken. The real needs of the American people right now are not being met. They're not being addressed. The real problems that we face are not being considered. We have a long-term looming financial catastrophe that's being ignored. And we now have career politicians in Washington that no longer represent we the people. Instead, they pursue their own self-interest while ignoring the plight of hardworking Americans. Friends, this is not business as usual. Yet so many of our representatives seem to think that it is. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is about our freedoms, this is about our future opportunities, and this is about leadership. The list of problems that we face are mind-numbingly long and very concerning. Unfortunately, we're being given no leadership out of Washington to help dig us out of this mess. And we have got to change that. And with your help, I intend to be that change. The first thing that we've got to change is the climate of corruption that plagues our government. Friends, this government belongs to the people. It does not belong to the politicians in Washington. We need to have Congress pass a balanced budget. We cannot continue to borrow nearly 50 cents of every dollar this government spends. Then the national debt and the deficit has got to be brought under control. We absolutely cannot pass that burden on to the next generation. And it's high time that we roll back the encroachments on our liberties. We do not need a government that eavesdrops on our phone conversations and our written correspondence. And friends, on an international stage, we need a government with a strong foreign policy. We need to say what we mean and back it up with the strongest of resolve. It is time to stop playing politics with our men and women in military. They have sacrificed enough for this country. And at the end of the day, it's time to get the government off the backs of hardworking Americans and their employers. You see, what matters most to Americans around this country is this looming, nagging fear that they may lose their job and the potential challenge that they will have in replacing that job. This is not the American dream that we have grown to know. We're now 5 years in to this fiscal mess, a recession and a jobless recovery. We need leadership in Washington that will get America working now. So we were promised a health care system with lower premiums and better coverage. The reality is a system that does not work. It'll further erode the quality of care, and it's going to boost the premiums beyond the reach of the very individuals it was designed to help. All the while adding to additional government overreach into our private lives. Until we can repeal, replace, or drastically revise Obamacare, I will absolutely insist that this legislation apply to everyone. It needs to cover Congress, it needs to cover the White House, it needs to cover unions, and it needs to cover big corporations. There will be no exemptions, there will be no loopholes, and no excuses. You see, what we've experienced over the last decade cannot be repeated over the next. We now have career politicians that year after year after year spend more money than what we have. They borrow more money than what we will ever repay. And what they are doing to our children and grandchildren's future is absolutely unforgivable. You know, I come from a time, and I believe to this day, that the representatives that we send to Washington work for us. And it's incumbent upon them to listen to what our thoughts are and what we have to say. Unfortunately, that's not been happening. That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for the United States Congress representing Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. Friends, let me tell you, when I get to Washington and I speak on the floor of the House, Nebraskans will hear their voice again loud and clear, and I will be that voice. We are going to make a difference. Now, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I absolutely intend to serve this country as a citizen legislator. I am not today, nor will I ever be, a career politician. I have no desire whatsoever to be a congressman for life. I will always be more concerned about the next generation than I am about the next election. Friends, it's time for new leadership, and I intend to be that leader. And I promise I will always put the needs of this country first. It will be before party politics, and it will be before the gridlock that has come to define Washington. So I'm asking you to join me in this endeavor. I'm asking for your help. I'm asking for your support as together we build a better, stronger America. Thank you all very much for coming out. May God bless Nebraska, and may God bless the United States.